I'm live. Hello, everybody.
Is that a little too high?
Welcome. It is a little too high.
Okay.
So we are doing some adjustments right now to see how I'm doing the show a little differently. I need my glasses.
We have to use a phone because
we're using our phone
on the road
rather than the fancy. I think I see a little better. Instead of the fancy camera we normally use, we are back to the basics. We're using the phone because we're actually on the road, and that always changes things. So hello, my little friends. And I'm saying this now for my replay viewers because that's normally who watches the very beginning of this, whereas my chat room peeps come in a little bit after the fact. So I just want to say welcome replay viewers, and thank you for joining me watching what is going to be probably a very chatty show. And what I tend to do is we put timestamps in the description box of the video. So if you want to just skip all the blah, 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 you can just shoot right down and see where or if I actually crafted, because I'm not actually sure if I'm going to be crafting tonight. I do have some of my craft materials out, but I do have a lot to share. I wanted to share about what's been going on while we've been on the road. I wanted to share some of the cool things I have already picked up, and some inspiration for you, and for your own like travels, and like how you could set up your own little go bag, your crafty go bag. And I wanted to share with you, this is a postponement of what should have been last week's show, and it was supposed to be like, yay, the fall playbook is here. So I'm not quite sure if I will get to do the crafting. I do plan to have another late night crafty club next Friday, so that I'm sure, or hopefully, will be more crafty. It's just when we get on the road, it's all like so up in the air, and how accessible my stuff is and all that good stuff. So I'm sorry if it just isn't as crafty this time, but that's always the kind of the thing with the late night crafty club, is what this is meant for is your crafting time for sure. So you can just listen to me blah 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 while you do your crafting, and you visit with friends in the chat room, because that's the other fun facet of having the live show, is that you get to actually interact and talk to crafty ladies from all over the globe. So if you're watching as a replay viewer, it's just kind of watching me, and you have the privilege of fast forwarding, which you are not interested in listening to. But so if you are watching this as a replay, please go down to the description box and you can fast forward through the timestamps or see any of the products that I'm talking about, including our brand new fall playbook, which is the very last playbook of 2019. And we're going to be making changes to it next year. So it'll be the last time to get like this specific format. Okay, everybody. Hi, everybody in the chat room. Hello. Hi. Oh, I'm so happy to see all your little faces. It's so good to see you too, Miss Cozy. I see Diana and Rebecca and Caroline and Carmen and Yvette and Kathy and Christina and Lizzie. Oh, sorry, Lisa. I combined your name right there. Hi, Miss Mallory. Good day to you in the down under. And hi, Miss Wendy and Martha and Anna and Christina and Hope and Bee and Kesia. Hi, hello. Hi, Hannah and Yvette and Betty Jo and Anna again, and Marilyn and Michelle. Hi, it's so good to see you guys. Welcome. I have so much to catch you guys up on of all the like stuff that's been happening and has already happened, has already transpired, where I am actually broadcasting from in this very kind of like no frills late night crafty club. You can see I do not have the fancy camera tonight. I'm using the old fashioned phone, like back to how we used to do things. I do have some of my craft stuff out. So basically when we get on the road, I put all my stuff up above. I have this like brand new setup, so I had to get real creative in how I put things away. I had shown you guys before how we have this whole like drawer structure now back here. So it was actually quite pleasant to put things away. Everything had a home, but we got here today and we were kind of late in setting up and settling down and just getting our act together. So I apologize. I am a little disheveled. I have like flyaway hair. Mr. Crafty is printing my fall playbook as we speak. But I do have some fun stuff to share with you, and I'm really excited about it because I learned some things while the short leg of our trip that I didn't even know. So I want to share with you guys. So it's like, oh my gosh, where do I start? Very exciting stuff is happening all around. So I'm looking at myself on the playback, and I look so washed out.
It is a little bright.
It is. I feel like all the color, I feel like ghosty, and I have like, I did my makeup and everything. I even put like extra like liner underneath, and all I see in the thing is I'm Casper the ghost.
Maybe. Is that better?
Okay, thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
You guys, I'm seriously sleep deprived. Last night I think I got 3 hours of sleep. The night before I think I got maybe 2. So I just I'm on fumes. I'm in a woo-hoo place. So I missed you guys too. I always feel like time has it feels like longer time has gone by than in actuality when we don't have late night crafty clubs or some kind of live that keeps us connected. I feel like this precedent gets set with like camp because it's like lives every single weekend. And then when that kind of dies down, I sort of feel a little lost. And then I gave myself like Junk Journal Jamboree. And so it extended that. And then it's like, okay, now fall is here, and then it slows down and I miss my friends. Speaking of Junk Journal Jamboree, those of you who are in Junk Journal Jamboree, here is your warning that tomorrow is our reunion show, and it is at 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning. So it is on the earlier side, but it is our chance to gather. You guys can post, take this opportunity to post in that group if you are in Junk Journal Jamboree, and post your finished junk journals, whatever that may be, whatever state they're in, whatever you would like. You can post in there if you have not gotten a chance to. This is our chance to like be able to look through the group while I'm doing my show, and hopefully I can find my junk journal and be able to be like, oh, here it is, epic. So so thank you guys. Yay. Okay, I'm glad that, so I'm sorry that so Mr. Crafty is the one buffering apparently. Sorry, you guys are having okay, so let's just get into this, you guys, because I got a lot to talk about. And also, as I am talking, please, everyone, bring out your playbooks, start crafting. We are down to the 10 days left in September, 10 days. So technically fall kind of becomes official in a couple days, but as you know, the playbook goes to the end of the month. So we have 10 days to really like bring it home, get our playbooks done. So I would really encourage you to grab your playbook and just stick to simple crafting if that's what you have the energy for, because it is Friday and sometimes we're kind of drained at this point. So grab your playbooks, be sure to share what you crafted in the club. There is a graphic waiting for you in the group, the Reset Girls Crafty Club. I did post it right before I went live. And then there is also the other graphic that says, hey, what did you craft in your playbook this week? And there's today's date is included. You guys know that drill. So share in the group that, find those graphics and share in the comments what you craft, because it's always fun to go back and look and see what everyone did while we were all doing live together. If you're watching the replay, you are more than welcome to do the same, to share what you did. Oftentimes the live doesn't work out. You have plans and you have to watch the replay, and there is no problem with you sharing after the fact, none at all. So, where are we? Where in the world is Corey Speaker? So I am I'm on Ellsworth Air Force Base right now. So we are they have a campground here, and it's for military. So people who have been in the military or currently in the military, oftentimes there are Air Force bases. I don't know if it's true of like the Marine Corps or the Army. I don't know. So far, all I have seen personally is Air Force bases have some of them have campgrounds. And so for a discounted rate, you can stay in one of them like more cheaply than if you were paying for a public campground. So Ellsworth Air Force Base is outside of Rapid City, South Dakota. I am in the Dakotas officially. This is the furthest I have personally ever been in the United States along the upper corridor. This is the furthest out. As a teenager, I got to go to Yellowstone with my family, and it was a RV trip at the time. So it's been kind of fun and nostalgic, kind of going back. And We were north of Yellowstone on this trip, and we've stuck to the 90 all the way outside of Washington, and it takes you through Montana and Wyoming, and we stopped in Wyoming yesterday. I feel like the days have already like been a blur. We've been on the road for 4 days. Yesterday we visited the very first national monument in America. Does anybody know what that is? I'll give you a hint. It is in Wyoming. Which national monument was the very first one established in America? Nobody Google. No Googling. And thank you very much, Miss Lisa, for reminding everybody to like this video, because we are broadcasting live on YouTube. And when you like and thumbs up the video, it does help it bump itself up into the algorithm where other people might see the live, and those that are needing a community like ours might find us, and that would be awesome. And those that are, you know, not interested in being one of us and participating with our group, well, mosey on out. So let's see. Okay, so this is my eyeballs. This is me seeing the first place I see the answer is Miss Karen Haynes is correct. It is Devil's Tower. I had no idea that that was the very first national monument. It was established in 1906. And we actually went into the visitor center. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is my only previous experience with the Devil's Tower. It is that crazy mountain that they filmed or showed in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which came out like in the 70s. It was one of Steven Spielberg's movies. I saw it as a little teeny kid, and that was the mountain that Richard Dreyfuss was making with his mashed potatoes. That was my takeaway. So that is where supposedly the alien ship landed, was around that area. It was that Devil's Tower. So getting to see it was really just kind of putting that memory of seeing that movie together. And it did, in fact, look like someone took giant forks and raked it up the sides of it. It is the most amazing thing, as far as like a natural phenomenon I have personally ever seen. It was so impressive. But what was really exciting, and this is the nerdy part that I cannot wait to share with you guys, I was like giddy. So here's my gift bag, because you know darn well I went into the gift shop. So because I spent over a certain dollar amount, I got a free gift bag. But it has like a bear climbing up the side of it. It's so funny. So apparently there's this constellation of stars above it that is in the shape of like a bear. And they play up on that a lot. So the gift shop, the visitor center, I should call it, has a gift shop. And so here's what I wanted to share. And a lot of you might already know this, because a lot of you do travel, have seen many things. I am the little introvert girl that has stayed home a lot of my life, so I was unaware. But apparently here in America, in the national park system, they have this fabulous activity that they make available where you can buy a passport, and every time you visit a national park, and I think the way that they word it is national monuments, when you go into the visitor center, they'll have a little place where you can stamp your book. Every little national park and monuments official visitor center has a little stamp thing. So they have, this is where I was so excited. I was so giddy. I had Mr. Crafty film me stamping my book, because this is what we did when I went to Japan. The shrines all did the same thing. Every shrine has a place where you can stamp your Midori Traveler notebook, your journal, but people do the same thing. They stamp that they've been there. So this is the American version. So I, of course, saw this right away, and it was the little passport get stamped. And I was like, what is that? That was my first. Doesn't that look like something that would just speak to us little crafty girls? So, hi, Miss Angie Brown. So this is the book. And this very nice lady, I wasn't going to get it at first, but then she kind of struck up a conversation with me, and she said, I've had my book for 20 years and it's almost completely full. She has been going and visiting all the parks and getting her little stamp. So it's really neat. They break up the book and they give you like some background information. It's broken up by region, and they give you this really awesome map of the United States, so you can see where all the national parks and monuments are, and they're all, you know, listed on this big giant map. And then in the book, they set it up so that there's a place for you to add the official stamp from that little visitor center. So we're in the Rocky Mountain region is where we currently are. And so I flipped. And of course, the very first time I stamp my book, I do it wrong. Of course I do. So they actually had this really cool stamp that was made, and it shows the little devil's tower. And then this is the official stamp that you stamp in your book. So I should have put this stamp down here. What you put here is they actually create these stamps, like postage stamps. They're big giant ones. And every year the Park Service releases a sheet of 9 of them. So you can go back on the Park Service website and buy whichever ones you've missed and then put the official stamp here. And then this is your canceled stamp, the one that you get when you visit. So of course, when you buy something like this, it completely motivates you to like want to see all the parks because you want to fill your book. Isn't that exactly how we are? It's totally how we are. So we are 20 minutes away from Mount Rushmore. And so I have a little picture of Mount Rushmore in my little passport book. So that is definitely a place that I want to get my book stamped. There's also a couple other things in the area that they consider part of the national parks. Is there's the Badlands, and which looks a lot like a lot of Western movies have been filmed there. It has that very Western look to it when I was looking at pictures. And then there is the Wind Gap Cave. So this is forcing me to actually like look at stuff in America, and I feel like I'm getting like a little history. There's tons of historical signs, and they explain how the whole commission, like how this I think it was 1906. I want to say it was Roosevelt, but I apologize if I'm saying the wrong president. But they were explaining like how Devil's Tower became the first monument and how that president did all of this work to like start the whole thing about national parks. And it is something that the Congress actually votes on and decides what is a national park. There are 61 parks in America. Mr. Crafty and I visited 2 of them on our wedding anniversary weekend a couple weeks ago. I think Washington has a lot of them. So I am so nerding out, you guys. This is so much fun. So I have an official pouch. I have my little passport, which I'm going to put this in its own little Midori traveler notebook so that I can have like this official and then put like a little traveler journal with it. They give you at the park, they give you your little printout, and they tell you what's in the area. And then I got all this fun ephemera. Like I've decided that's what I'm buying on my trips. Is going to be things like the postcards and the paper products that will go into my scrapbook. And I'm not going to buy mugs like I like to do and all the other stuff that I tend to spend money on because I have no place to put it. We're going to be moving into a 25-foot motorhome next year, and I will have the smallest space I've ever had in my life to work with. So thank you, Karen, who clearly knows her stuff. It's Wind Cave. Okay. I saw the word gap on something. I wonder what, I'm probably mixing 2 things in my head. And yes, Celia, good old Teddy Roosevelt. Which might explain why his face gets to be on Mount Rushmore. So I'm really excited to see Mount Rushmore. I've only seen it in movies like most of us, so getting to see it in person, I hope is as epic as I imagine. But it is kind of funny, you know, being out here, you really are in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of cows. I haven't seen any buffalo, but there are a lot of cows out here, and it's very green, and it's just very peaceful. And you do get this sense of like, it still feels a lot like, because everything is so quiet and it is a prairie out here, it does kind of remind you of like scenes from Dances with Wolves and what you can really imagine how this was really Indian territory at one time and how it must have been just plains as far as the eye could see. It is really a beautiful and very peaceful, flat kind of place. It's amazing to think that Mount Rushmore is just 20 minutes away because everywhere I look, it's flat here. So I picked up some really cool, this is a sticker, and I got like all the postcards. They had these fantastic like vintage postcards, which I thought was so cool, so my style. I got an Indian head penny, and one of the old postage stamps. And then this is my very favorite thing I got. This is actually like aluminum, I think. It's really thin metal, and it's the U.S. Geological Survey. So it's like an official little metal, and it shows like where Devil's Tower officially sits. And it has these little tiny pins, like they look like little nails. And I am going to see if Mr. Crafty can actually nail this through the cover of one of my traveler notebooks. I actually bought an official Midori Traveler's Notebook in camel, and I'm dying to like rough it up and like just like let it be my like traveler companion. And I want to see if he can get this like through the leather and, you know, and get it on there. I think that would be so cool. It looks so cool. So this was another purchase, another little sticker, which I feel like will fit so awesome in one of like a pocket page. So everything I was looking at was very much for a travel journal. You know, what can I fit in a journal? So that was all my fun little stuff, but I did want to share this part with you because what a fun thing. And I'm sure a lot of you might already have these, have a book, and I'm the one who's late to the party. Tamaris, no beef, no freebie for you. Oh, that's right. Okay, so there was a freebie that was designed for the last show, and I forgot to tell Mr. Crafty about it for this show. So my apologies. I will make sure that we have that freebie up and ready for the next Late Night Crafty Club, which is next Friday. So we're going to have another Late Night Crafty Club, and I will make sure that you get your mitts on that. It is something that is celebrating. It's for the playbook, I believe. I think that it is like fresh little fall inspired bingo markers is what they are, now that I'm remembering it. Okay, so yay. So a lot of you guys are like, yay, I've been to Mount Rushmore, and you're giving me tips about what other places I should see. Mazda says I was born in Saskatchewan, so know what you're talking about in the prairies. That's awesome. I'm thinking, for those of you in the know, I'm thinking that really cool Dakota accent is probably North Dakota. It's got that moving into Minnesota, that awesome accent, the Fargo accent, because everyone just talks normal down here. So that's what I was looking forward to hearing that accent. So anyway, so we've been on the road for 4 days. We've already had our very first giant fiasco on the road. I think so far, Mr. Crafty and I have had kind of like an epic fiasco with the RV on every major trip that we've taken, starting with our very first weekend we owned it. The very first weekend we took Liberty out, we had a problem. So this one happened, was it yesterday, Mark?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it feels like it was so long ago. Okay, so yesterday we had our very first fiasco, and this is part of hashtag RV living. And everyone who's lived in an RV will tell you, your emergencies come out of nowhere. You have no idea what your next problem is going to be, but you will always have problems living in an RV. Your home is, when you drive it, it's like you're constantly putting it through an earthquake. So things fall off, the lights fall off, screws come out, things crack. But yesterday was pretty epic. We have an awning, a big giant awning that comes out to create shade for the entire side of the RV. It's probably 25 foot long, maybe 30 feet long, and it's a mechanical awning. So when you press a button, it'll roll itself out, and then it provides this lovely shade. We don't use it very often because we're indoor cats and we rarely go outside. I'll be honest. Mr. Crafty and I have not sat outside once, in just like sitting in our little chairs and just enjoying we don't do that. We're indoor cats. So apparently something happened, something went awry. The wind caught it, and it literally ripped the awning away from the RV. The little mechanical arms came out. The awning ripped away from the little, I don't know what you call that, the mechanical, what it was holding, what holds it. Mark, I'm missing words. I can't think of what you call that. So once your awning comes out like that, you have no options. You can't drive with that, with a big giant awning flapping up and down. So he couldn't get it to retract. So he literally had to like take a saw, a mechanical saw, and like cut it off the RV and leave it by the side of the road, which is horrible. I mean, it's the worst kind of littering. That's worse than leaving a trash bag, but there was no way to get it into the RV. It's 30 feet long. There's no way to wedge it back into the RV and then take it. Trust me, I wanted to take it. I wanted to try and repair it, fix it. But yes, sadly, I took a picture. I was really sad looking at it, just knowing like, this sucks. And then someone's going to come along and they're going to see it and they're going to like, I wonder what happened here. Why is there this awning sitting by the side of the road? It was horrible. So, no, we've never gotten to use that awning. And this kind of was the trip for it. Like, this is going to happen. We're finally going to sit out and enjoy sunsets and all that. So I feel terrible. Our poor little awning, we had to leave it behind. These are the kinds of things you're forced to make all these decisions because you're in the middle of South Dakota, like there's no like RV service. We'll repair you on the spot. There's nobody like that can come out and rescue you. You're stuck by the side of the freeway, on a lonely country freeway. So, yeah, so I know Karen says it best. Well, dang. So that's how I felt, Karen. Dang. So that was our first snafu, and hopefully that is the last. Once we came here and got to the base, all the gates were closed, and we had no idea where the gate was, the 24-hour gate. So we couldn't even get into the RV camp, so we had to go back and sleep in the parking lot at Cabela's. Those of you who live in the RV life know this well, but there are a few businesses out there that will allow you to sleep in their parking lot. Walmart is notoriously one of them, although not all Walmarts allow you to do that. Sometimes they're in a city that doesn't allow it, or they just don't allow it. But another business that does is Cabela's, whom I love personally. They actually are awesome. They have like big, long, like places for you to park. They have a horse corral. So if you like brought your horsies and you have to spend the night, they have a horse corral so you can put your horses in it. And they have doggy like kennels for your dogs so that you can like let them out and kind of be outside, and water. It's like so friendly. I've never seen that before. So they make it very RV friendly to sleep at their store. So that that was kind of funny. Now, I did mention to you guys before, let me see, I want to make sure where I was going to share this. So I did run into the Cabela's and I did grab another bag because I had shared with you guys on one of my previous LNCCs that I had bought a Cabela's bag, and I bought it last year and I love it. It is my Crafty Go bag, and I wanted to share with you like how I have it set up. And here is one all folded up. So I'm going to be getting one of these for like each of my nephews for Christmas and putting like little snacks and stuff in it for their gift. But I did buy an extra Cabela's bag for a giveaway. So I have a bunch of stuff set aside from my Japan trip for a giveaway. And I have this really cool Cabela's bag for a giveaway that I will be doing once we get somewhere. So here's my Cabela's bag, and this has been sitting next to me as we've been driving down the road. I have it on a little stool next to my chair, and I just wanted to share with you what I have in my bag because I am the nosiest person and I love seeing what people put in their bags. So I thought I'm going to show you guys what I put in my bag because this would give you guys ideas on setting up a fun and simple way of like keeping your essentials with you. Oh, also, I have to share with you, this is another thing I bought in the gift shop. So here's my Delphonics bag, and I have put some really cute little buttons on it, pins that I have bought on Etsy from my Japan trip. And this is the fun little national park, like a little patch, but he's on a key, like a little key fob. So he is now officially on my Delphonics bag. And he has a, what is his name? It says Devil's Tower Natural History Association on the back of it. So they had some super cute stuff. I was really impressed with how much my style of things I'm interested in that they had. So they had like really cute things, and then they had vintage things. And so here's my Delphonics bag, and I keep my two special things in here. So I have two little Asics traveler notebooks. So these are both from Sojourner, and these are the trifold. This is she has a limited edition one. It's a coral. I think she calls it's a Hawaiian name. I think it's like Maui coral. I can't remember, but I had to have it. It's so pretty. To me, it's like a tomato soup color, and to me it's very fall. So I've been photographing it everywhere I go, like holding it up so that I have like a really cool background and then taking a photo, because that's like one of my favorite things to do. So I set it up with like a Stayology book inside of it, and then a little pocket, a wallet, little small passport sized Midori pocket wallet thing I bought at the Traveler's Notebook store. So this is what I was thinking of putting my, okay, oh, here it is. Okay, so I wanted to put the little passport book into one of these, because it's meant to be like, it's the way that it's designed, it's meant to hold like a bigger, thicker book than just little skinny inserts. So I was thinking that's what I would do with this, is kind of like upgrade it into a proper traveler's notebook. And then I have the dark brown, I think this is her Caribou. Don't quote me on that though, because I'm terrible at remembering. So this one was all set up for traveling too. And I had this all set up for Japan, and then I totally didn't write in it the whole time. I just carried it around with me everywhere, but I have it set up for that. It's got little ephemera in it and everything. So these are my two little traveler books, but I am going to be adding the whole official traveler notebook. I am like obsessed with traveler notebooks again. I've like re-fallen back in love with them. So I think for me, 2020 is going to be traveler, my Hobonichi, and then the traveler notebook. So here's my Hobonichi. So I have that in here too. And then I have my Kindle, because I have been reading, because we have a book challenge going on. So I want to make sure I'm doing my reading. I have my iPad. Yes, this is the iPad. I got my iPad in there. And an envelope full of ephemera, which I'm about to talk about this in a minute. And two pouches. So I have two types of pouches. This is like my little essentials for journaling with my scissors. And then these are sort of like the backups. So it's like more like crafting. I've got my glue stick in here, and my little glue runner, and my correction tape, and my little white eraser. And look, Professor Chicky, he's in here. A little tiny stapler. So I have like some little crafty things in here. And I love this bag so much because it has like an inner pocket. It has a pocket on the top part of your pouch, and then on the side it has pockets. Which in here I have my washi sampler ring, and I have this little tiny pouch. It's for business cards, but I have it full of like clips for my traveler's notebook. In my front pocket, I have two very important things. Sharpie markers, because I can't tell you how many times I'm always looking for a Sharpie marker. So I just went ahead and gave them their own pocket. And then this other big pocket is my gold scissors with apparently a bunch of stickers. Things apparently I didn't want to get lost were these special fall edition stickers. And then on this side, I have a super cool organizer for pills. So every single day has its own little compartment. And so you can pull it out and just carry like this one for the day. And it's set up for morning, noon, evening, and night. So I thought that was so cool. I loved how this was set up. Because then you could just take whichever one you needed and go. I just go ahead and I set this up for the whole week, so I don't have to sit there and pull out pill bottles all the time from my cabinet. So I just set it up for the week and then just apparently carry it around with me. And then I have my my iPod and my little headphones in this pocket. So that is what I got going in here. And I have to tell you, this is the most fun bag, and they're inexpensive. I originally bought it on sale for $9.99, and I think I paid $12.99 for them, regular price. You can purchase them online. You don't have to like be near a store or go to the store, although their store is amazing. It is like the best setup I've ever seen. The way that they like have it all organized, and like they make it feel like you're really in the outdoors inside of it. It's very much a outdoorsy hunter fisherman kind of place. Some of your husbands might be into it. You might be into it. You might live in a place that you're into it. In fact, one time I remember when I was teaching in Missouri, I taught a workshop on the first day of deer hunting season, and no less than like 4 of the ladies who showed up to do a faithful planner with me, they were all dressed in camo. And as soon as the class was over, they were going to go join their family out in wherever they were hunting, because that's what they do as a family, is go hunting together. And I thought that was like so amazing. I was raised by a bow hunter. So, I mean, I understand it. I always felt bad for the animals, but so I realized like there's a lot of women who are into hunting too, and the culture of it. And that's what Cabela's is about that culture. So if that bothers you, that's probably not a store you want to go into. But I have to say, they have these bags are amazing. So I did buy myself a black and gray one, a little bit more neutral. And then I got one for someone to win on a giveaway, because you should experience the greatness of this bag. It is fantastic. It's like a nice little compact size. It would fit at your like feet if you're in the car, and you could just put your planner stuff in it. It has a really nice strap with like a padded shoulder pad so that you can wear it across your body if you need to. So it really checks all the boxes for me. And this is like the second time I've talked about it. So I need to do a proper like YouTube video on it, because I want it to get love. So I want to talk about that. So I do. So Rebecca says that she would, the only thing I would add is a tiny photo printer. Totally agree with you. My photo printer is down in this cabinet and I can't really get to it, but I agree. I do have a small, I bought myself the, what is that thing called? That little HP, how everybody has a little HP. I forget the name of what it's called, but I bought the Plus, so it's like slightly bigger. So I do have that, and it should go in that bag when I get my whole act together. No, not that one. That's the Epson. This is a little pocket printer. I wonder if I can reach it. It has its own little, it's a Instax. It's this. The Sprocket. That's what it is. The Sprocket Plus. Okay. So, Scraft, I'm going to say NH. Does NH in your name, does that stand for New Hampshire? Because I think that's so cool. October is hunting season in Maine, New Hampshire, FYI. Well, hopefully I will not be going into the woods without wearing something to identify myself. So, Laura asked, what's the little stripe bag? This is the bag that I was showing at the beginning that was in there. It's my Delphonics bag. I actually have 2 Delphonics bags. This is the larger of the 2. I have a small one too that's a little mustard one. And I'm trying to remember where that went. Once I start packing up my life up into cabinets and making everything fit, because I feel like I always change up how I do things, it makes it really hard to remember where I put stuff. So I definitely don't do myself any favors when I constantly change up my process there. And no, Lori, we have not moved into, we're actually getting a Class B, and we haven't moved into it. It's not, they're manufacturing it. We will not move into it until next year. So, okay, so Rosemary is your name. I was just curious if the NH on the end was, if it stood for, hi, Paula. Yes, words are hard. If it stood for New Hampshire, thank you. Again, in case you didn't hear me earlier, I'm definitely sleep deprived in the last 48 hours. I think I've gotten about 5 hours of sleep. So you guys are totally seeing me down at the I'm nose diving at this point. So yeah, the Delphonics bags are super popular. With, I feel like they're popular with certain niches in the community. I feel like a lot of the traveler notebook and art journaler seems like they really are into these. They have lots of pockets. So there's like one big pocket, and I have like my little pencil, my little pen. What is this? I don't know what's in it. Let's look. Aha! It is my Mustard Pilot Vanishing Point fountain pen. This is my favorite pen I own. It's the most expensive pen I own. But I love it dearly, and I gave it my favorite little pen case because it's pink and orange. So this is where it ended up. And I have some fun washi in here. So before I left, like a couple days before we left Washington, my friend Shauna Noel of Illustrated Faith, I got to go over to her house. She invited me over. So we intended to do some crafting, and then we just spent the whole time talking. So, but her studio is so adorable. It's so cute. And when we were done, she let me go shopping in her stuff, which I thought was so sweet of her. But, you know, she sells and ships products now for Illustrated Faith out of her home. So she had a lot of her little bins of stuff, just like I used to. And so I picked up some washi and a really fun stamp, which I do not know what I did with it. I probably put it away with all my stamps. I actually do have some organization in this household right now. You would be impressed. When I pack up, everything has a home. Everything is very organized. Oh, and also I wanted to share this with you guys. So this is a little bitty ice, like to make miniature ice cubes. I found it on Amazon. I was looking for a tray to make fat bombs. You know, like on keto, you make little fat bombs in trays. Well, I don't have I wanted to get something small because I have a small little freezer. And they have this really fun, it's like rubbery, and it has a little lid. So I bought this. It's way too tiny to do what I wanted with it. But look what I put in it. I put in all my little tiny wood embellishments. So now they're all together in here. And it's like travel friendly. I made a little, like a little protective sleeve so that the pieces don't spill around inside. And I am loving it. But I just saw this when I was looking in my bin. So yes, I do actually have everything very tucked away. So Carol was asking, what is the name of the Cabela's bag? Mr. Crafty, could you post that link again? I cannot remember. I think they call it an everyday tote. I could totally be making that up. Catch-all gear. So in fact, this bag is so popular at their store. When we first walked in, it was right there, like a big display of them in a bin. So they're wonderful. They're really well made. I love them. I'm gonna get a Cabela bag for everybody. My mom got one for each of my aunties when they came on the cruise with us to do a crafting. She got each of them a little bag, and then I put all their little like craft supplies because none of them are crafters. So I wanted to make sure they all had what they needed. They all got gold scissors and glue sticks. And so it was really cute seeing all my aunties carry their little pink and gray Cabela's bags. So, I mean, it's great. Like if you are into Bible journaling, if you go to go to church and you want to have like your different Bibles, notebooks, your highlighters, if you want to, I mean, I would carry that into church and put it right there on the seat with me and use it during service. So if you do that kind of thing, you could take it with you to like your kids' soccer practices, basketball practices, and just have your planner stuff in it. My Hobonichi fits in it. It's an A5 Hobonichi. So I don't know that you could fit like a Erin Condren like upright. You could probably do it flat. But you could get some of your planning or crafting done on the side. You could do Lister's Got a List in it. You know, your playbook is probably the only thing that would be awkward to carry in it. So anyway, all good tips, all this little inspiration for you guys and how you think about setting up stuff. But the little Delphonics bag is definitely a favorite of mine. It is not cheap. It is not a cheap bag. It's a very well made bag. I will say that for it. It's well made, but it's not cheap. I think this bag, which is the large, they have a large and a medium. Their small bags they're so small they don't even look like, to me, they don't look like the same type of bag, but this one I think is the large size, and this one was probably $34, $36, somewhere in there. It will last you, I'm guessing, a long time, because for something that's been made overseas, it feels like a really nice quality. The fabric's really nice. It's a nice bag for sure. So I just have the two, which I love. So look, I shared with you my bag, my pouch. I'm going down my little checklist I have to make sure that I'm covering everything. What time is it? I've been only talking, what time? I'm going to check my phone because that is the most reliable. So I've only been talking for 45 minutes. I feel like I've been talking a lot longer to you guys. I hope that aw, thank you, Misty. What a very kind and generous offer. I might take you up on that. Okay. Hi, Marcia. Yes, Lisa, it does come in mustard. I have the mustard one. I have the my medium size is a mustard. The pink was too bright pink. I was hoping for like a blushy pink, but I'm trying to remember where I have all my goodies, and that seems to be, that one is eluding me. So anyway, if you guys, anybody's late to the show, and I'm just gonna do a reminder that tomorrow is the Junk Journal Jamboree at 10 a.m. So don't forget that. And let's see here, what else do I have to share with you? So the new chapter book club challenge, you guys are so excited about this. I got such amazing feedback that, you know, this was sounded like a more fun book challenge, because oftentimes when people have like a book club, I just announced this earlier this month that we were going to do a book club because of New Chapter being such an inspirational collection. It's all about books, love of books, and starting a new chapter of your life, which we do all the time, especially when you're resetting your life. Thank you so much, Mr. Crafty.
You're welcome.
Okay. He just handed me my fall playbook because I did not have that. I hope, you know what? I don't think I handed you the right kind of paper, sir. This paper was inside of the 32-pound shelf, but it is definitely not 32-pound paper now that it's been printed. But I'll show it to you guys, but you don't have to. Just don't pay attention to those details. So anyway, New Chapter being such a fun collection, I think it's absolutely adorable. I love, for me and most of us, because most of us are introverts, book reading has been especially helpful to us in our lives. I think I would theorize that most introvert children tend to be more about book reading and more willing to do book reading and see the joy and the fun in it, because it is more of a solitary kind of activity, and you can get lost. Like, you just spend all this time up in your head. So I think it's a lot easier for us to get there than perhaps it might be for some of our extroverted friends. I'm not saying introverts don't read, because they do. I'm just saying, I think for us, I think we just have a special bond with reading, because for many of us, not being social creatures, books became more of our friend and more of our escape. For me especially, I had a very difficult childhood with schoolmates. I didn't really have friends. I got picked on a ton. So I spent a lot of time at the library. It was I would stop off at our public library after school every day, you know, and just spend time in the library. I can remember the smell of it. I loved the library. So I was very excited to have a whole collection that celebrated the love of reading. Since I got married, I would say I have done less reading, and I think I realized why. It's because it is such a solitary kind of activity, and me and Mr. Crafty, the things we do together a lot are more like team or group or, you know, things we can do together. But I've really been missing reading, and it's something I want to do more of instead of like watching stuff. So I'm gonna really try to be more focused on my reading this fall and winter. So I'm super like focused on that. And so it was a great time to do this book club, but I wanted it to be different than just, you know, most book clubs, the people who run the club will pick a book, or they'll make people vote on which book do you guys want to read. And I didn't want that pressure to pick a book. I would stress out over that. Like, I don't know what book to tell everybody to read and go buy. So I just decided to do a challenge that was different. So you pick which book you want to read, and we'll use our crafty skills and do something that's more craft related each week around our book that we've chosen. So hi Bessie, I haven't posted my bookmark or anything yet. So I'm kind of a loser of my own club. Don't judge me. But I have been reading. So that's the most important part. I've been doing my reading. I am reading Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is my second time reading it. And I am reading it in my Kindle, which I have a love-hate relationship with the Kindle, as a lot of us probably do if you use an e-reader, is that, you know, there's nothing like holding a book and turning pages. It's just yum. But one thing I can say I do love about the Kindle is you can highlight your notes very easily, and then you can access all your highlights in one swoop. You can email the highlights to yourself and then kind of like download them, copy them into your Crafty Commonplace book or an insert. I am so inspired by this new chapter idea that I want to start like a whole traveler's notebook just for my book reading. I'm going to make an insert. I've done this before. I showed this to you guys like a few years ago, that I would make an insert based on my reading quotes out of books and stuff. So I'm going to repurpose that and do that again, because I found it to be I really love writing, and it's kind of like it's really easy to copy little passages and quotes out of books and just kind of add it into your little journal. So that's what I'm really excited to do. Hi, Julie from Wisconsin. Hi, Miss Sloan. So just know that don't feel pressure to do the crafty activities. If you're actually reading your book, that's really what matters. That was really the whole point of the club, was just to get you going, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to read a book. You know, there's a certain level of accountability to that, and I'm going to get it done. So, you know, the fun bookmarks and notes and all that's gravy. That's like the extras. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have on the resetgirl.com, I actually have a button that you can click. You can sign up to be in the book club. You get a free printable. I have some like a little membership card and everything. So this book club is actually going to run through the entire fall, because of all the feedback I got and how excited everybody was. So next month I will change up the activity. Hopefully you'll pick a new book, and then I'll give you a weekly prompt each week to do something craft related with your book. So I will just kind of like change it up a little bit, but you get to read a new book. So that means in the course of fall, we'll have read 3 books. Yay for us. For some of you, it might be that you read 1 book. You know, if you have a really busy season and that's what you can manage, that's 1 book that you read that you may not have read before. So yay. And it could be nonfiction, fiction. I actually am a really big nonfiction reader. I always have been. I feel like I've really read very few novels in comparison to how many nonfiction books I've read. So I have been reading some other books. There's a book series that I read during this time, every like fall, winter, I always reread the first 3 or 4 books in the series because it reminds me of their seasonal books. And it just, I don't know, it feels like a little tradition that I have. And I discovered them during the fall and fell in love with them. And I just love going back and rereading them. I've read probably 3/4 of the series. I kind of lost interest at one point because of, just because characters get, they grow up, they get older, they change, they evolve, writers evolve the character, and sometimes you're just not interested. So I'm talking about, I'm curious if anyone has read the Lucy Stone mysteries. They are written by Leslie Meyer. Hi, Grace's World. Purple Paisley Planner. You are so cute. Look at all your little hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. And Kelly, she says, I recently discovered my love for Audible. Absolutely, that counts. A lot of us find that just being read to rather than sitting and reading, because when you're being read to, maybe you can clean the bathroom and do laundry. And so you feel like you're not kind of like lounging and wasting time, but you're like getting something done. Audible's great for that. I have a little harder time being read to. It's hard for me to have someone read to me. So I think that's why I'm aversion to it. But I have been considering doing a couple audibles. Mallory says that she's heard about the Lucy Stone mysteries, but never read them. Veronica says she loves listening to books. Kelly says, better for me than Netflix. Agreed. And that was what I felt a little bit of conviction about. I'm like, I spent a lot of time watching, like, even if it's just in the background, while you're doing something else, but Netflix, YouTube TV, YouTube. And I thought, I really need to get back into books. There's something that lovely about reading. So anybody for the Lucy Stone mysteries? Anybody have read them? Hi, Erica. There you go. That's what I think is a problem too. She says, I can't process a book when it's read to me. I'm so visual. I need to read the words. Agreed. I have heard a couple books on tape before because my parents loved them. And so we did a lot of like road trips when I was growing up. My dad loved taking us on his hunting trips. So when the cassette tape, the book on tape started appearing, my mom was like all about it. And we would listen to all these books on tape. And I've never been a fan. But one time and I was like I feel like I was still in high school, but she got The Mist by Stephen King. It is the best book on tape that I could ever imagine, because it was not treated like a book on tape where it's read by one person. It was treated like a radio miniseries. Like it was treated like there was voice actors, there was people acting it out. So you felt like you were just like watching a movie without the movie. And this is like years before the movie came out and now the TV series. But if you ever are interested in like a really good kind of like radio, what do they used to call those, teleplays? That's how Stephen King originally wrote it, I think, if I remember correctly. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. And I'm so glad the movie didn't disappoint me. I think it was just as good. Lori says, I haven't heard of Lucy Stone mysteries, but I like mysteries, so I'll check them out. So here's my plug about the Lucy Stone mysteries. What I love about them and fell in love with is I wasn't a big mysteries book reader, but I just happened to see the cover of it. And it's one of those genres where they get very, how like they would have like, they have mystery series based on like baking or cooking, like I can't remember the name of the author, but she'll have like the lemon cookie murder or the shortbread murder or the chocolate cake murder. Like there's a whole series on those. This kind of is like that, and that's what caught my attention. So the first one is the mistletoe murder, and then there's like the back to school murder, and there's the trick or treat murder, everything's murder, the tippy toe murder. And it's all based around something we can all relate to. It's based on a housewife in her 30s. She's from this quaint town in Maine, which is why I was so captivated by it. And she just stumbles into, she's very, like a lot of us are, very nosy and very interested in what's going on. And sometimes these clues just present themselves, and she ends up stumbling upon, a body or something. And so I know I'm making it sound kind of ludicrous, but it really doesn't read that way. It actually makes sense how some of these things happen to her. And before long, she just kind of like is something of a little amateur sleuth. And she starts writing for the little town paper on the side. So she's got a little part-time job. She ends up having her 4th baby during the series. So, and then the kids start growing up as time passes, the kids start growing up, and you're kind of like going through her life, like our life, like, she goes to the grocery store. She's not a perfect mother. She has to cook and clean, and her husband, wants dinner on the table and that kind of thing. So you see her kind of go through all like regular mom stuff. And then she has like this little stuff going on the side. So it's very charming in that way. And it really sucked me. And I discovered it when I was going through a horrible, dark time in my life. So I like got sucked into them. I read them voraciously. I mean, my library had most of the books at that time. So I just got very sucked into them. They're really easy to read. They're a fast read. I think on the Kindle, like they have a whole bunch of them on Amazon. They have all of them on Amazon. And most of the old ones on the Kindle are like $2.99. So I downloaded a whole bunch, and I've been reading them along with Big Magic. So I just love reading them in the fall because it's like the back to school murder and the trick or treat murder is what I started with. And they're seasonal. So it's about murder, but it's not crazy or ghoulish or anything like that. It's something I could imagine showing up on the Hallmark Channel. If Hallmark ever did a mystery, finding people dying kind of thing. So, okay, Kelly, I'm totally judging. Misty says there's also a needlepoint mystery series. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Like they have all these genres of mystery stories now that are based on like crafting and sewing and baking and just like normal things. And then they make a whole series of them. And in fact, that Leslie Meyer, who wrote Lucy Stone, she collaborated with the same author. I think I can't remember her name. Joanna Fluke. That's her name. Joanna Fluke is the author who wrote all the like cookie shortbread, the chocolate cake murder, because her heroine is heroine. I always think I'm pronouncing that wrong. Heroine. Why does that sound like the drug and not the hero? But it's a girl. It never sounds right to me. So her protagonist, her person that she writes about, it owns a bake shop, and she's a baker and a cake maker and all that. So anyway, they're a super easy breezy thing to read, and I recommend it. That's all I'm gonna say. So so you guys are all talking about books and e-readers, and Laura Childs has a scrapbooking mystery series. I'm pretty sure I'd seen one of those. So Tina just said that Laura Childs is another author you guys might be interested in. Cheryl says Aurora Tea Garden. Is that the name of a author? A great series is Thomas Kincaid and a female author, Kathleen. Mallory says you might also enjoy the Fern Fisher mysteries by Carrie Greenwood. Ooh, the audiobooks are read by an Australian actress. I'm in. I can totally listen to an Australian accent all day long. Sue Grafton. That's right. Like A is for this, B is for that. I remember that. Her whole series. The Book and Scone Society books. Julie says that she loved the Boxcar Children books growing up. and Nancy Drew. I did not ever read the Boxcar Children. I don't even think I ever heard of them. I thought about that one day because I've heard people say that. I'm like, how did I miss that? I read Little House on the Prairie. I read that whole, oh, by the way, oh my gosh, you guys, I have something so exciting to tell you. So we stopped at one of the visitor centers, which I recommend. I've never done that before. If you see a visitor center on the side of the highway, go inside. They are so full of information. They can recommend places like that, and they're full of ephemera. So they're full of brochures and maps and all of that. But they can tell you like super secret stuff and like really cool things to go see. But the ladies here in South Dakota, they were so helpful. And I was asking her opinion about like certain things worth seeing, and she said, "Did you read Little House on the Prairie, or watch the TV show?" And I was like, "Both. I watched Little House on the Prairie all the time. Who didn't? You know, when you're a Gen Xer, that was like one of the best shows on TV." And so apparently, I did not even think about it, but it's a real place here in South Dakota. It's called De Smet, South Dakota. You can actually go to the house where Michael Landon, Pa, chopped wood and raised his great kids. The house where they filmed Little House on the Prairie and the little field that they ran through. That's a real place that exists and that you can actually visit. And the house that Laura Ingalls Wilder grew up in is near it. So I begged Mr. Crafty. So we are actually going to take a little detour and go visit the Little House on the Prairie house. And then you can, I guess she was saying how there's like a road that you can take into Minnesota. And that would have been like one of the actual trails that they took as they were making their way across the West through Minnesota and then settling in South Dakota. So I'm super excited. I would never have known that had I not stopped at the visitor center and actually talked to people. So, yay. So that's what I'm doing. So the other thing that I also discovered, because I was doing some research, because I've had a not lifelong, because I think I've watched the Anne of Green Gables TV series. We all kind of watched that. I think it came out in the 80s, maybe the 90s. And I was absolutely in love with it from the beginning. I'm sure all of us did, because it was just so magical. And I think it was beautiful. It was so well done. I think it did such great justice to the book series. And I was doing some research, and I was looking, can you take an RV to Prince Edward Island? And apparently you can. Now, we will not go in this big giant RV, but when we get our small RV next year, I asked Mr. Crafty if we could go to Prince Edward Island and go to the Anne of Green Gables house, which is also a real place you can go and visit. And they have beautiful campgrounds right on the beach, right near the house. And the house that, I'm forgetting the author's name, something Montgomery, where she grew up. So I'm all in. So we're going to Little House on the Prairie and Anne of Green Gables. So I will definitely be taking the camera and taking lots of videos so that I can share it with my friends who are all super book nerdy like me, and I would be really interested in seeing that, hopefully. So, Nita says, I'm going to need to read the live chat again and write a list of all the good books to read. Agreed. There was a lot of suggestions here. And I think that's kind of Lucy Maud Montgomery. Thank you, Erica. So, Emily Speaks says, Prince Edward Island is fantastic. My family is from New Brunswick, though I live in Ontario, and I absolutely love the East Coast of Canada. So I'm super excited for that. And I'm so grateful that they allow camping with an RV, because otherwise, you know, you wouldn't be able to stay that long. And they let you camp there for like 21 nights, 3 weeks. So I figure that's plenty of time to see the island and just go see everything. I wanted to live on that island from the time that I saw that show. I'm sure most of us do. It was absolutely beautiful. So, ooh, Cheryl says that the Waltons Mountain is a real place too. It's near Charlottesville, Virginia. Perfect. I need to make a traveler's notebook insert. of all of my personal bucket list places and do some research on I wouldn't know what's real and what was just TV, like what you can actually go visit. So that's really cool how many things out there you can actually go and look at. Denise says that her mom works part-time at the oldest state visitor center in the United States. It is on Highway 301 at the Georgia and South Carolina state line. Free ephemera at the visitor center. So yeah, if you guys have never stopped at a visitor center, I would recommend you do that. There's human beings in there that will share little inside tips with you. Very, very, very knowledgeable about their state, very proud of their state. And I think that's really awesome. And they like to record, like they'll ask you, where are you from? And they put it in their little book so that like they can record where do people come from through their center. And then you can grab all the free ephemera you want, which you guys, this is going to be so fun. In the next year, we're going to be doing, in our camps, we're going to be doing more of the make-believe memory keeping and going on make-believe trips. So a lot of the photos that I take on my trip, I'm going to begin putting them into like a little kit that you guys can have with other like junk journal essentials so that you can make like a scrapbook of the trip we all took together, because that's becoming like a super favorite thing of mine. And Misty says that she stops at every state line visitor center. That is a very good thing to do. Kim says go to South Fork in Dallas. Is that a real place? Can you really do that? See, again, I wouldn't know. Filing cabinet and now banker's box full of stuff, I'm sure. Nita says my husband's favorite movie is Anne of Green Gables. It's the only movie he has ever cried in. Oh, and he cries every time as you do. Did you guys cry at the end where she says that she doesn't need, what does she say? I don't need marble or sunburst, diamond sunbursts. Yeah, marble halls or diamond sunbursts. I just need you. It is like, oh, because it's like the culmination of the entire show, like series you've been watching, where you're just dying to see them get together at last, and the moment finally comes. It's like you put in like 6 hours of watching just for that minute, but it's oh so worth it. So yes, it is very super. It's an awesome series. I will admit I was actually kind of disappointed with the sequel that took, I don't know, 15-20 years for them to do. I didn't like it as much. I was really hoping to see more of Gilbert and Anne and together, and then the show made them separate and go different directions, and I wasn't into that, so that was kind of a bummer. Kelly says that she has a friend who is having an Anne of Green Gables party tomorrow. How fun. Misty says, wow, there's 213 people in our chat room right now. How awesome is that? But I would love some more thumbs up. Now, I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it would be awesome if you guys could like this video, because that helps us. It helps my channel. It shows that people are interacting with me, because YouTube looks at a lot of data when they analyze channels. And I recently found out, so the more you guys leave comments, the more you guys like my videos, the more subscribers I have, those kinds of things, it will afford me like getting, YouTube will do different things for me. So one of the things is I'll get like help with my channel. Like YouTube might give me a partner manager that could help me better with my channel and like, you know, improving things and that kind of thing. There's all these like benefits to YouTube, but you have to like be like, you know, and you don't have to have like a huge channel either. They don't care as much about how many subscribers you have. As what they care about is how much people watch you and spend time on your channel. And in that way, I'm actually very unique compared to channels with huge amounts of followers, because you guys will sit there and watch a 3-hour video. And so my audience is very special, because most people who have YouTube channels, They're like put up 10-minute, 20-minute videos, and that's it. That's all the patience that the average YouTube watcher has. So that is my little plug. If you guys could just minimize, if you're watching this on your phone, you actually have to minimize the chat room to be able to access the video and give that little thumbs up. But subscribing to me and clicking the little bell, all that means is that you'll get a notification the Reset Girl has gone live, you know, or the Reset Girl uploaded a video in the time that I actually do. It's raining. Can you guys hear that? We woke up to cracking thunder in the middle of the night last night. Like scary, like makes you jump in bed. Caroline, you're so sweet. She says, I've been going back and watching and liking older videos. Thank you. Yeah, some of my videos have really high views. My most highest viewed video is the Midori 101 video, of course. That was sort of my viral video. And then what, like my faithful, I think there's one for like doing like faithful journaling. That one has a really high viewer count. So it has been really it's been really awesome to see like that when I go look at like the behind the scenes of YouTube, and it'll show you like how many minutes people watch you, how long they'll stay on your page. Where I'm lacking is like comments, like people leaving comments. That's a thing that like YouTube like really wants to see people do that. So I don't know. You guys know it's like all those social media platforms, they all have little hoops that you got to jump through. But YouTube is really, really where I really want to invest my time. And sometimes it's kind of hard to do that with our little nomadic lifestyle. And I think, but I think that with the new priorities that Mark and I have now, like we've really been trying more and more to minimize doing certain things in the Reset Girl, so that we are getting into a place where this is really what we do, is just the live stuff primarily. Of course, I'm always going to be up for doing camp. I might be a little old lady still offering camp. We'll all be little old ladies together, okay? Still pretending that we're off at summer camp. So anyway, so back to the new chapter book club challenge. That was quite a divergence. Okay. Yesterday I posted in the group, I asked you which book you have read the most, like over and over. Which book is it that you have read the absolute most times in your life? So if you didn't answer that question, that post is in the Crafty Club for you to answer. And also in the Crafty Club right now is a post asking, what did you make during the late night Crafty Club? So as I am doing all the busy chattering, this is your opportunity to be crafting in your playbook, hopefully to help finish out your summer playbook, and posting a picture of that in the comments of that graphic. So I'm just reminding you guys that that's up there. So the fall playbook, our last playbook of 2019, is now available in the shop along with an accessories kit. So we made a new accessories kit for it. Mr. Crafty, is that possible to get the accessories kit?
That number 4?
Yes, sir.
Can I just print it on regular paper?
Sure.
Or I'll switch it out.
Misty says that she's never reread a book. What? Misty, say that is not so. Some people, maybe you look at it as like, oh, it's a waste of time to reread the same book. For me, I reread books that like completely captivate me. They just, like, I'm so in love with it, I have to revisit it again. And I think for me, I had to really think about this question, because I have reread quite a few books. I'm definitely a big rereader. And I've reread a lot of true crime books. That was actually the first genre that I can say that I ever like got into. I was like 11 years old when I read my first true crime book. And I have read hundreds of them. Now I will say that I don't do that anymore. but in my 20s, in my teens, that was very much an obsession. So I read a lot of true crime, and I read a lot of them over and over and over again. I would say the Zodiac was probably the one I reread the most. And the Green River Killer. Those are probably the two most reread in the nonfiction area. And then I would say, I think my answer was A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I'm fairly confident that that's the one I've reread the most in my life. And every time I read it, I feel like I have a new takeaway or something like I forgot about. And then I read it again. And I absolutely love that book. Oh no, Mr. Crafty, can I get my power cord for my laptop? I left it in there on the couch and it has my my notes. Yipes. Sorry guys. Cindy says Gone with the Wind. That is a long book. I would have a hard time rereading that one. Goodness gracious. Laurette says that she's reread the entire Stephanie Plum series at least 5 times. Holly says, I think the only book I've read more than once is The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle. Mazda says, after about 5 years, I forget what happened in a lot of books, so I can reread them like the first time. Agreed. Dana says, true crime is my favorite. My grown boys say I'm morbid because I love the ID channel. You know what, Dana? That it's really interesting. When we were younger, and like for me, I read so much true crime. Like I used to go to the library and bring like stacks of it, and my parents used to give me a hard time about that. Like, that's kind of weird that you read so much. That's kind of like maybe there's something wrong with you. And then Hollywood started cranking out TV shows like, what was that show? What was the very first like big major TV series that they put out? Criminal. I can't believe I can't remember the name of this. I used to watch it all the time. Gil Grissom, and they would do the crime investigation.
CSI?
Thank you. Oh my gosh, words are hard. My memory is so bad right now. CSI. So CSI comes out, and then there's more books cranking out about serial killers and more movies, and then it just became more mainstream, and then there was just more attention given to serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and what was that one guy, the Night Stalker. And so I feel like it just took some time to evolve to a place where now people are, it's a little bit more mainstream, and you don't get judged as much for being into it. Now there's whole channels like the ID channel and even Oxygen, which used to be primarily a woman's channel. They rebranded. Now Oxygen is entirely all true crime. So clearly it's a big thing. And I actually there's a couple YouTubers that I love watching. Kendall Ray. She's so adorable. She does a whole thing about her whole video channel is about true crime, and she'll talk about like cases, and she does a lot of research. There's actually a whole genre of YouTubers that do true crime and tell stories that we have all heard about from their perspective. They share stories of missing people that they're helping to try and find. So it's really cool. Ooh, these turned out really good. Thank you, sir. He just printed off for me the accessories kit for the fall playbook. So this time around, I kind of went like with journal cards and honeys. So the journal cards we did a series of cards that are all based for just like general journaling that you can use in your listing pages or in your art journaling pages. And these were very the vintage style that you guys know, I love, you love. And then we have another section that these are all like backgrounds. So these are meant for you to put like a photo on or ephemera on, or cut out little strips of a quote and put them on. So these are for you to kind of like use as a background and dress up. So you can use these for like adding photos to, ephemera to, a honey to. But I loved, this is like so delicious. Love this. This is a fall-based one with the little leaves that you can make a little quote to. So these are the journal cards. So printing them on the cardstock and using them in your playbook. Honey, would you, oh, thank you. You did get it for me. I need to plug in my laptop, which died, because that's where all my notes are. I forget what else I have to tell you guys. Okay. And then here are we got you some new honeys. Now, it might seem strange that we're giving you these odd honeys that have like a background, and I'm not intending for you to cut out a square honey and stick that in your page. This is for you to cut out the outline of the honey so that you can use it the way that I like to use them, which is why I did it that way. Is I love cutting out like a girl's face, just her face, and then putting her on like a totally different background like this. You guys have seen me do stuff like this. So that's what these honeys are for. It's so that you can Mark, what are they saying? Something. All of us there was an announcement made over the loudspeaker, like somebody was driving through the area and saying to take shelter. Something about 5 nautical miles, take shelter. I don't know if this, like, do they get tornadoes through here, or I have no idea what he said fully, but I'm very concerned right now. Mark ran out.
There's a huge thunderstorm.
There's a huge thunderstorm?
Yeah, I don't know what they said. They said something about seek appropriate shelter.
Seek appropriate shelter. I thought I heard him say that. What does this mean to those of us who are all in trailers? Should we be concerned?
Say a quick prayer.
What was the 5 nautical miles part? You know, I'd like to.
You should bring people out to see this thunderstorm.
I would love to think that the people who are actually in the trailers here, that they would have spent more time here telling us, knocking on our doors. There's not that many of us. Hey guys, you're not really in a house like everybody else here. Maybe you should seek shelter.
This thunderstorm is amazing. You should bring people out. It may be the last they ever see of you.
That's a lovely thought. So Mr. Crafty would like us to sign off, and he wants to.
So you can take him out with you.
Yes, but sign off in a way that's like dramatic, and so he wants to. He thinks we should go out and look at the thunderstorm that apparently is coming. I'm sorry, you guys. For those of you who live in Tornado Alley and you're used to like those of you who live with hurricanes, I'm a West Coast girl, and I just have dealt with earthquakes, and earthquakes are very sudden. You don't get a warning, and they're really not really, for the most part, they're not really, life. Like they could take your life. That's very rare. So I am I'm taken by surprise. So we're going to take a little detour from the show, and I'm going to take you with me. Do I just unplug here?
Here, I'll do this.
Okay, Mr. Crafty's going to grab it, and we're all going to go outside.
I don't know if you want to grab the tablet.
Okay, I'm going to take the tablet. So, wait. You have the microphone.
I do.
Okay. So, everybody can see your big hairy hand.
No, it's pointing up.
Okay.
I did that on
a
purpose.
second ago, it was your big hairy hand.
So they didn't see our messy.
See? Karen goes, oh, look, a hairy arm. Wait, Mark, don't pull too far away. You're the talk to people. Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
Holy crap.
They said seek appropriate shelter. I'm not sure.
What does that mean, though, to people in an RV? Is that good enough shelter?
I don't know.
Nobody else is leaving. Oh, my Lanta.
I know, right?
Okay, you guys, can you all see that? I've never seen a lightning storm like that before. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm in, is this what you guys feel like? Those of you who live in the Midwest or in Kansas, was that real?
They said it was 5 miles away. So at some point we'll want to go inside.
Not get zapped.
Getting into shelter.
Okay, guys, I want to make sure that you got to see this, though, because this is amazing.
Isn't it, though?
I'm sorry. This might be the most horrible storm we ever lived through, but this is amazing. So I know quite a few of you like live in areas where you guys get hurricanes. Some of you just were in a hurricane not too long ago. Can you guys see all that? Deborah's like, go back inside. See, Deb Farman says, Oklahoma girl here. Mary says, I'm in Kansas. So yeah, you guys are used to this stuff. This is new to us.
I wish they'd do that announcement again.
That's what I told them. I'm like, hey, for the people who actually aren't in real homes, could you guys have taken the time to come? Hey, there's a really dangerous storm coming and you might want to think about leaving.
But the people that are over here are all the retired people.
Yeah.
And if we die off, it just means the government doesn't have to pay out the annuities. And
Okay, so Mr. Crafty's under the impression that because most of the people staying here are probably retired military, that they would probably save money not having to pay out pensions, so it's probably worth it not telling everybody here to go. That's a terrible conspiracy, Mark. Okay. Look at the Weather Channel, Mark, Lorette says.
but with as awesome as that looks, you don't really hear much.
Okay.
Because we heard some really loud thunder.
Are we scaring you guys? Standing out here?
There's nothing going on. It's all in the distance.
It's in the distance, you guys. It hasn't gotten here yet. There's no rain. There's no rain falling yet. But I now understand how you guys in the Midwest feel right now.
That's just amazing.
So, do you think the winds could be strong enough to knock our Liberty over?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's just going to be really loud.
It would have to be a tornado to
Oh
cause
my
us problems.
gosh. This is amazing.
No,
They
what
move
do-
fast. Any hail? Nope. Letitia, there's no hail.
no, but what
Judy
do you-
says this is scaring her. They're scared for us.
Yeah, but what do you do?
They- I don't
you
know.
get in your car and go where?
Yeah, we really don't have anywhere to go. There's nowhere else. I mean,
You just go inside the
we
RV
go stay in
and
the hotel, but literally nobody is leaving. Everybody is just sitting here. There's no one. Oh, Caroline says that she would totally be outside because she's a storm photographer. How cool is that? Karen says, not scared at all myself. I love that stuff.
I know, right? Isn't it amazing?
Karen says it's going to arrive quick.
Well, good thing our door is 2 feet away from us.
Oh, I lost my, what do I push to get my, oh, there we go. Cozy says, best live show ever. Yes, we arranged this special for you. That lightning is amazing. I've never seen anything like that.
It is. It was really loud last night. Like really loud. I think they were just telling people that a thunderstorm was coming and to get
Laura
indoors.
says, my husband says you're acting like true Midwesterners by standing outside in the storm. Yeah, it's all fun and games until you get zapped,
Until
right?
you get hit. But it's all in the distance. I mean, it'll get here
Nita
eventually.
says doesn't look like anyone else is worried in that park. Me and Mark are literally the only ones standing out here. Everybody else is in their trailer, like
They
just
have sought shelter.
yeah, right. They've all left. We all think everyone's at home and they're gone.
No, he didn't. That guy in the Freedom Elite, he didn't hear what they said either. Because I asked him. I was like, what'd they say? He says, I don't know, except to seek
Did
shelter.
they just drive like through and just with their air horn and then left? I don't know.
No, I think it's a base PA system.
Okay.
And I can't believe that they haven't come on and said it again.
I know, especially to the people in the trailers. Again, the people. I'm trying to get you to point because that cloud over there is really lighting up.
Oh.
Oh, hi Mark.
Hello.
Hi everybody.
Hit the wrong button.
Lightning can strike from miles away. Rebecca says, I'm in Kansas and I would be outside watching. My basement is 16 feet from the front door. There's no hail, there's no rain yet. It's just the lightning.
Hail will be at the end of the storm.
Okay. Well, what do you think we should do, Mark?
Be inside eventually. I mean, we can add the broadcast if you want and go in
Okay.
and just open up the front shade so that we can see outside.
See, that one's that lightning over there.
That one's the best.
Well, like more right there. That one. Whatever cloud right there is really lighting up. Letitia says, LOL, true Californian, out videotaping, right? I'm like, I've never seen this before. This is amazing.
Oh, Midwest storms are the best.
So, being in California, I can tell you that this, like, never, this isn't California storms at all. We don't get anything like this. It's like it may be like a crack of lightning, you know, like a zigzag lightning or a pop, but it's very seldom. Wow. This did not occur to me. We're going to Maine next. We're headed to Maine, so hopefully we don't have any bad storms that we have to weather. Okay.
Some of them are getting
a little closer, a little brighter over here. Okay.
You want to go in? Do you want to end it now, or do you want me to put it back?
Okay, go ahead and let's put it back for a minute. I'm gonna finish the rest of my announcements. I'll walk over my bed here. Okay.
That was amazing.
Indeed. All right, my friend. I know Lidima says that she's amazed there's no thunder. It's very distant. It's very light thunder. It's not like that loud. Last night it was loud cracking thunder. It totally scared us when it like scared me awake. Yeah. So this is really interesting. I know Emily says that she's surprised that the stream hasn't ended just from all of the activity. So let me just finish. I must go on with the show. Let me just give you guys a couple announcements, and then we'll go ahead and end the show for obvious reasons. So just want to give you guys a heads up that next Friday will be our next LNCC, and we are going to be celebrating the new collection, Forever Fall. I mean, just think of the name alone, Forever Fall. So those of us who love the fall, and I know most of us do, this collection is all about fall. It is about whisking you guys away to a magical land where it is forever fall. And we want to really take you guys with us on our trip to Maine. We are going into the heart of New England, going on leaf like sightings and taking lots of photos. And I want to make sure you guys all get to experience that with us. So we're going to be putting up content for that so that you guys can see like what we're doing and what you're doing with us. So Forever Fall is going to be coming out, and we are going to be including a brand new product in the collection that we've never done before. If you purchase the cut file bundle, there actually will be planner stickers. So if you guys remember the amazing planner stickers kit, the Planner Girl kit that we used to have, so we have an updated version of the Planner Girl kit. Now, I had all the stickers, like the monthly boxes and the weekly boxes. I sized them so that they would fit my Hobonichi, my A5 Hobonichi cousin. But doing that means they will still fit within your Erin Condrens, your Happy Planners, because of the size of the box. I made them a little bit more narrow than the Happy Planner or Erin Condren. So a lot of these stickers you can use in many different types of planners. But they were specifically sized for that particular planner. But just experimenting and putting them in other planner types, they also work beautifully. So we have like, I think there's there's six to 8 sheets of different stickers. There's monthly boxes, weekly boxes, reminders, icons for like dinner, making dinner, and paying bills and all that fun stuff. So we basically have brought back the Planner Girl kit and have just reimagined it, so it's a little bit, it's even better. And I am so excited to have planner stickers again. So if you buy the cut file bundle and you have a Cricut or a Silhouette, you will be able to have your own little fall sticker shop. The whole collection is all going to be forever fall. So the colors will be super delicious and yummy. And I will be using that all fall long in my planner, which I will be doing a flip through of my Hobonichi and showing you what I have in there. I am absolutely in love with this planner. I have already placed my Hobonichi order, actually arrived at my mom's house. So I have all the stuff. I've bought a ton of, even though I just shopped there back in the spring, I went ahead and bought a bunch more stuff. So I bought myself brand new Hobonichis for next year, and I'm in love, and I would love to introduce it to you if you've not seen it in action. And really, it's super cool. It is actually a daily, weekly, and monthly planner all at once, and it's still kind of on the thin side. So it's a really fun, it's a fun format, and you can do other things in it like art journaling, listing, doing mixed media. It has like, there's so many options with it. So that's why I was very motivated to kind of like, I want to get a sticker kit going. So Forever Fall will have a Planner Girl kit in it, in the cut files. So you'll be able to cut it out on your silhouette. So for those of you, a lot of you guys have been buying the big master bundle because it has both cut and printable files in it. Now you'll have the Sticker Girl kit in there too. Another fun thing that is coming back is we're going to be bringing back Lister's Got a List, but we're doing it with a twist. So it's going to be Lister's Got a List, the fall prompts. So I put together 60 prompts that will last you for the entire fall season. And I kind of staggered the prompts so it will kind of take you through like October, November, December. The prompts I set up kind of like took you through that whole season, you know, as you like experience October and Halloween, and then you move into like the season of gratitude and Thanksgiving, and then you move into Christmas. So the prompts kind of cover that whole series of time, and they're really cute. So the way that I set it up is so that you can purchase a set of prompts and a list of prompts together, and Mr. Crafty is going to make cut files for them also, so you can just kind of peel them off your little sticker book and put them in your lister's book. So there's going to be 60 of those. There will also be a free version, which is just the list, and that way if you just want to do fall listers, you can just do them free as well. That will be the other option. And starting November, we are going to be doing our shop differently. We're going to slim down the offerings and put things more into like bundles rather than all these individual SKUs. So there will be a smaller group of options to choose from, which will make things less confusing for people that just, I think most of our customers tend to want everything, or they want either the printables or the cut files. Those are really what we're seeing happening with our sales. So we're responding accordingly, and it will work better for us as a company because we just don't have the manpower to, which I have discovered because I've been doing it myself, is having all these different things going on in the store, having it more slimmed down and easy to just work with. And then the creative team and myself, we will be able to just be like more focused on giving you such a broader base of ideas and how to use all the products. So, and I hope that you love what you see, because we are kind of changing things up. We're making changes to the products in the bundles so that there's more, a little bit more variety, and making changes so that it freshens things up, because people like to have new things. And so you'll have stuff for listing, for your playbook, for art journaling, for mixed media, for a lot of the different things that I'm going to be doing this fall that I would love for you to do with me. So I'm going to be doing crafty stuff too during October. So I'm super excited for this, and it's going to be really a nice way to end 2019, is just having a little bit more simplicity for all of us. And then it will be time to announce winter camp. So I'm excited, so excited for fall. I can't even tell you. I don't know how you guys are, but I'm like, I just can't wait. I just can't wait. That scared me. Okay. So I am not sure if we'll be doing the Junk Journal Jamboree tomorrow. We'll might have to do a play it by ear situation. I might have to reschedule it because I'm just not sure weather-wise what we're going to be experiencing tomorrow. So, and I hope you understand. So we'll just kind of play that one by ear. I'll put a post in that Junk Journal Jamboree group to let you guys know, hey, we're about to experience a horrible storm and we don't know what's going to happen. But next Friday, we will not be here, but next Friday, we'll be having another late night crafty club. So I hope that you're able to join me live or catch the replay if you can't. And also, last announcement, next weekend, also, I'm going to move our chapel from Sunday to Saturday. So we'll have the late night crafty club, and then in the morning, we'll have our chapel. And that way it'll free Mr. Crafty and I up to get back on the road. So once we set all this up, it just makes more sense to just get it all done at once, and then we can go. So if I wait till Sunday, it makes us have to do the work twice, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to, I've rescheduled it on the calendar, on our events calendar, but I will post it also in the Faithful group to remind you that I am going to move the date and time. So I hope that is okay. I always announce our time zones by Pacific Standard Time, because just to keep it simple, because I feel like we spend the majority of our time Pacific Standard. I'm actually in Mountain Time right now, so I just keep it simple. So 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is always, always, always the time I do the Late Night Crafty Club. It is very rare I change that up at all. And while we're on the road, it might be the only time I have to like adjust and tweak things. Maybe, I might move it to a Saturday so that I can, get all of my filming done in one day, that type of thing. But I do have it planned for next Friday. So I love your little faces. B, it is, the Junk Journal Jamboree I'm sorry, like off the top of my head, I don't remember what the calendar says versus what I wrote down, because I was kind of dumb how I wrote my planner out, and I was writing times down that would affect me as I traveled across the country. So I kept changing my time zones. And when I gave that information to the team, I think I messed things up by doing that. So I apologize if there is some kind of like issue with that, but tomorrow I should be doing Junk Journal Jamboree at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, just know that can change because of the storm we're about to have. It's now starting to blow really hard. So anyway, I love you guys. Pray for us, because we were told that we should be seeking shelter because of the big storm that's about to hit, and the wind is definitely picking up now for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed the lightning storm you were able to catch with us. But I love your little faces, and I appreciate that you showed up tonight. Thank you so much for doing that. And I hope that you're gonna just get your playbooks, get them out, be working on them. We have 10 days to finish our summer playbook strong, and then we will be diving into our fall playbook. Next Friday, we should be looking at the new fall collection is what I would love to share with you. So hopefully I'll have that all ready to go. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. It was such a fun time just talking. We talked about books. We talked about what we've been doing on the road. And if we hadn't lost our awning on the freeway, I'm guessing we would have lost it tonight. So anyway, I love you guys. If you missed any part of the show, please go back to the beginning. If you're watching it as a replay viewer, you can always use timestamps. If you have to watch anything as a replay, go back to timestamps that are in the description box, and then you can just jump ahead to what you want. I love your faces. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye.
All right, so now how do I finish this? Is it the 3 dots? Is it the X? Are you sure you want to stop?